Hey Pitmasters, what is up? Today we're going to be grilling stuffed pork chops. I have 3 of these beautiful pork chops made of the pork loin. We're going to brine them. To brine them, we take a bowl of water. We'll add some salt to it, and this is about 2 liters of water. And I'm adding around a palm of salt, and we're just going to stir it. Now I know this is not going to dissolve fully, but you don't really have to worry about this. This brine is very easy, and this will dissolve over time while our meat is brining. And these pork chops, they only need a little while to brine. So we're just going to drop them in one by one. And these are going to take around half an hour or so to brine. We'll set this in the fridge and we can start grilling in half an hour. While our pork chops are brining, we're going to fire up the barbecue. I'm going to use our Joe Jr. here. So we'll take out the grill grate and we'll take out the heat deflector. Now because we are using a smaller grill, we want to put in smaller chunks. We don't want to have these giant blocks. We just want like a medium size, just to make sure that we have a good heat distribution. We'll put in 2 of these fire starters. Now sometimes these fire starters, they are a little bit tight or dried out. And what you do is just twist them a little bit so they open up and they will burn even more easy. Light them up. And the great way with using a torch is that the flame actually goes down. If you have like a lighter, the flame comes up again and you might burn your hand. And the fire is not going in the direction that you want it to go. You want it to go down. Open up the bottom vent and let the charcoal light up. Our charcoal is now up to temperature and we're going to cook something on a cast iron skillet. So we're going to put it in the grill grate. Let the cast iron skillet come up to temperature. So what we're going to cook is a bacon bourbon jam. We're going to start with our onions. Cut them into chunks. So these are 2 red onions, they're cut coarse. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to our pan. And we can clearly see that it's heating up because the oil is spreading real quick. That means we can put in our onions. And you can hear that sizzle. Now you know that's the right temperature. So we're going to let the onions slowly turn soft. And in the meantime, we will chop up a garlic clove. Add the garlic to the pan. These are little bacon strips that we're going to add to the pan. And that's going to add a lot of grease. And at the same time, it's going to add a lot of flavor. To add a little bit of spiciness, we're going to take 1 of these peppers and we're going to add them to the pan. Stir it up. Let the moisture evaporate and wait until the bacon crispens up. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of ketchup mayonnaise, and we do it when we crispen up the bacon, not before that because otherwise it's going to burn real quickly. 3 tablespoons of raw sugar and a tablespoon of honey. Now this is where we have to be quick. Things are caramelizing, we don't want them to get burned, so we're quickly stirring this around until everything is caramelized, soft, and then we're taking it off the grill. Everything is done, and as our last ingredient we're going to add bourbon. Stand back a little bit because this is sugar. And you don't have to worry about the alcohol, it also evaporates. But we get that great bourbon flavor. That smell is really amazing. There we go. Of course we want to try it, but be careful, it might be really hot. So sweet, bacon, onion, what more could you wish for? For our next stage, we're going to be grilling our pork chops. So we want to set the barbecue up to a lower temperature. We'll close the lid, open the top vent a little bit. The bottom vent is perfect like this. So we'll let it come up to a temperature of 180 degrees for grilling our pork chops. Our pork chops have been brining, and look at that, they changed a little bit of color. Become a little wider, and also you can see that the structure has changed just a little bit. Now comes the tricky part. I want to stuff these, and they're not really thick, so we got to be careful with what we're doing. going to slice into these, so you gotta use a sharp knife to make that happen. Just put your hand on top to get grip and then work your way with the knife through the meat. And if you look on top, you can actually see the knife doing the work. So we got only a really small opening, but with a large surface inside. If I put my finger in, you can clearly see that we created this beautiful pocket where we can put in all kinds of goodness. I have this special cheese that I wanted to use. What they did is use the beer during the ripening process of this cheese to create a match between the beer and the cheese. And if you smell it, you can actually smell the beer. So this is the beer that they used, and the smell of the cheese, it just matches. So we're just gonna slice up some of this cheese. Of course, we want to taste it first. Let's give it a try. I definitely can see myself drinking a beer with this cheese. Now, since we want to make these fit into our pockets, we're going to cut them a little smaller. But we're also going to add a little bit of ham. And this is smoked and roasted ham. We're going to cut it up into smaller pieces. Now we're opening up our pork chops. And then we'll carefully work our ham in there. A little bit of cheese. Now we just want a nice bit of stuffing. We don't need too much in there. We don't want to puff it up and make it like a balloon. But we have only this small opening, and that's very easy to close off. We'll take these bamboo skewers and we're just gonna poke them in. And then straight away work our way back that opening that we had. Spread that out. Now look, our opening is completely closed. So I was opening up this pork chop, and as you can see, I wasn't able to create a pocket in this one. It's just too thin. Might want to make sure that you are getting more than 1 finger thick pork chops. That will be absolutely perfect. But have no fear. There's always a solution to a problem. We'll cut it off, press it flat with our hands, and then stuff it up with the cheese and the ham. And then just roll it up. Skewer them up. That works as well. Problem solved. And of course we want to put some flavor on the outside of these pork chops. There we go. Now I'm going to use Superlicious barbecue rub. That's my own rub. This is going to work fantastic with pork. We're going to put them on the grill, but we'll also want to add a little bit of smoke flavor to our grill. We'll open up a grill grate, put in a few of these wood chips, and then quickly close it again. Putting our pork chops on. Close the lid and let it grill and smoke at the same time. Let's get them off the grill. Wow, look at that. Let's get this one off first. These pork chops. Look at that. That's just a thing of beauty. Let's give this little one a try. It looks good. The cheese actually goes really well with the pork and the rub. Wow. Now let's get some of that beautiful bacon jam onto these gorgeous pork chops. Wow. Look at that. Well, let's do this properly, because I want to taste that beer with the cheese. A beer, some pork chops, and a great topping. A slice of a big chunk. There we go. We got the cheese, we got the ham, and look at how juicy the pork chop is. And that is gorgeous. There we go. That is just ridiculous. That turned out so much better than I expected. I know it would taste good because they're all great things, but together it's like magic. Let me get a sip of the beer. Oh yeah, it all works together so well. I think that is the trick to a good recipe. that you make things work together. We got a great pork chop, we brined it to keep it juicy and also add a little bit of flavor. We stuffed it with ham and then a special cheese that works really well. And we had a great topping on top. Absolutely perfect. And if you like this video, then give us a big thumbs up and leave us a comment down below. And I want to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors, as well as on YouTube as on Patreon. It is much appreciated. And that is why I'm doing the last giveaway of this apron on my Patreon page. So go over there, support our channel, and you can win one of these beautiful aprons. It will be shipped worldwide, so don't worry about that. Now I'm going to finish this off. In the meantime, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling.